All right, when you're done, can you help me put a thumbs up? Mm-hmm. Brian, done? Brian, you okay? I move on first, huh? So, just like what we did just now, every time when they give you a trigo function, you must find other trigo functions. We draw triangle. This red part, can you guys help me change? I think on your worksheet it is wrong. Okay, so I help you a bit with this. Okay, then you can try to do question 6. So if we look at question 5, A and B, they say that they lie in the same quadrant. So sine negative, cosine negative, it must be in the tangent quadrant, the third quadrant. So both are in the third quadrant. I must draw two triangles separately, one for A and one for B. This is A, this is B. So never mind if you see just minus P is minus P over 1 minus Q over 1. When you put in the values in the triangle, don't look at the negative, just look at the value first. Okay, so it is O over H, O, H. Okay, here will be 1 minus P squared using Pythagoras theorem. Now you can put in the sign. So hypo is always positive. This is the negative y-axis. So this is negative. This is the negative x-axis. So this is negative. Try one more time. Cosine Q over 1. So this is A over H. So A, H. Pythagoras theorem, 1 minus Q squared. Put in the value negative x, negative y. So negative, negative. Okay, so every time when you need to draw a triangle, find all three sides using Pythagoras theorem, then you check your sign. Okay, if your sign is correct, everything's done, you can start doing. Let's see the first one. Okay, so I want sine minus A. If you still can remember, you don't need to scroll. If you still can remember, if there is negative angle, only cosine will absorb the negative. Sine and tangent, negative put outside. Okay, so negative sine A. Sine A is minus P, so just P. Okay, next one. If I want tangent 45 minus A, every time when you see a bracket, right, you ask yourself, is it your special bracket? Okay, special bracket meaning, is it any of these brackets? 90 minus theta, 180 minus theta, plus theta, 360 minus theta. Okay, this one you know, these are your quadrant bracket, right? So if it's neither of these four brackets, then there's no way you can simplify it using fraction. We must use addition formula to expand it. If not, there's no way you can simplify. Okay, so we use addition formula to expand this. Okay, this is not a special bracket, so just copy. Addition formula for tangent, be careful, it is tangent A minus tangent B. At the bottom, the sign switch, 1 plus tangent A, tangent B. Okay, don't worry about 45. 45 is our special angle. If you look at the special angle table, tangent 45 is 1. So 1 minus tangent A is O over A. So P over square root 1 minus P square. I reject the negative because negative becomes positive. Okay. Since this is a fraction, right? The longest line, I change to divide. Okay, easier to simplify. So I have 1 plus, this is 1 again, P over square root 1 minus P squared. Okay, so whenever you have more than one term and then you see a divide, make sure that you connect them become one fraction, you connect them become one fraction. Okay, then this will be square root 1 minus p square minus p over square root 1 minus p square. This will be square root 1 minus p square plus p over square root 1 minus p square. This is over 1 over 1. I times denominator to the top and bottom. Okay, once you combine them into one fraction, you can flip. Change to times, you flip. This is the same thing you can cancel, you're left with answer.
Okay, how do you manage to get tangent A to become P over square root 1
Oh,
minus P?
use the triangle. So remember, tangent is opposite over adjacent, OA, this over this. And that's it.
Okay.
Okay, I never put the negative because negative cancel away.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, if you have no question for part 1 and part 2 when you're done copying, can help me put a thumbs up. Okay, very fast, huh? Okay, the rest, okay. JB and Kenneth, okay. Brian, you there or not? Okay, now let's look at the last one, okay. So if we have secant, we can't. So we change to 1 over cosine 2b. This is b, this is 2b. You need to change 2b to b using double angle formula. So 1 over, my blank, 1 over, what's double angle formula? Let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so 1 over 2 cosine square b minus 1. You can use either of the formula you want. So 1 over 2 cosine b is a over h. So we have minus q over 1 square minus 1. So 1 over 2q square minus 1. Okay, then we finish the whole question. So now, using the same way, the next question asks you, they give you a trigo, they ask you to find other trigos, cannot find for theta, but you must draw triangle. Okay, so cosine positive, first or fourth quadrant, but in this range, it must be in the fourth quadrant. So theta is in the fourth quadrant. This question quite nice, they give it to you. So can you try? Okay, and then when you're done, you send it to me. I'll give you around 5 minutes. Okay, finish by 10:30. And then I will do part B. Okay, if you're fast enough, you can attempt part B as well.
hey, Jiao, can you move the screen a bit? I'm not done coughing. Thanks.
All right, only Faith sent to me. Javier and Kenneth, okay? Brian also, Asher? Okay. Asher can send me your triangle. Kenneth also. It's okay if you got it wrong. Okay. All right. Sorry, my phone hangs. Okay, while it hangs, I will help you draw the triangle, okay? All of you draw the triangle in the fourth quadrant, but some of you forget to put the sign correctly. So let's see, cosine, this is A over H, A over H. Using Pythagoras theorem, this is square root 3. Then you must check the sign. Okay, positive x-axis is positive. This is the negative y-axis. Can you see? So here is negative. Okay, so if this one put wrongly, you can't get the sign correct. Okay, so can you try one more time? If you got it wrong. Okay, yeah, send me part A answer, okay? Let me check. Okay, actually this one fourth quadrant, so draw here. Okay, that's why your sign wrong. Here. Okay, those who got question A right, can you help me do part B? Okay, if you still got part A wrong, can you help me see here? So let's do it together, okay? Since we know that every one of them will be a fraction, this longest line I change to divide. So cosine theta is A over H. Sine theta is O over H, so minus square root 3 over 2. Divide by tangent is O over A plus sine is A O over H. Okay, then since the denominator the same, I can combine. So it's 1 plus square root 3 over 2. Combine the top. Minus square root 3 minus square root 3. You treat square root 3 as x minus x is minus 2x. Oh wait, denominator is different. I need to make denominator the same first. Okay, times 2 times 2. So minus 2 square root 3 minus square root 3 is minus 3 square root 3. Okay. Then you cancel. Don't forget to rationalize. Square root cannot be at the bottom. That's your answer. Okay. You can leave it like that. You can leave it like that. Up to you. They never really say you must present it in this way. Okay. All right. Everyone done with part A? When you're done copying, can you help me put a thumbs up? Thank you. Only one. Okay, some of you got it correct already. I think Ollie almost right. Okay. Ashley, you done writing?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, I'll be. All right, let's see part B first, okay? Ooh, okay. So let's see part B. So part B, okay, every time when you see a bracket, see whether is it your four special bracket. Your four special bracket, I show you again. It's either of these four, 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's either of these four, you can use the formula to change it and make it simpler. But if it's not, then you must use addition formula. So cosine A minus 270, this is not a special bracket. You must expand. So cosine A cosine B plus sine A sine B. Okay, so to find for cosine A sine A, they gave me tangent A. So if I give you one trigo, you find another trigo. Can find for A? Cannot. You must draw triangle. Okay, draw triangle. To draw triangle, you must identify the quadrant. This is acute. Acute is the first quadrant. So this is T over 1. So it's O over A. Then this is your 1 plus T squared. Okay, so cosine is A over H. Sine is O over H, and you get it. So you have 1 over square root 1 plus T squared. Cosine 270, sine 270, you can just key calculator. Okay, make sure you're in degree mode. So cosine 270, you get 0. Sine A, sine A is here, O over H. T over square root 1 plus T square. Sine 270 to calculator is just minus 1. Okay, so you have minus T over square root 1 plus T square. Okay, those who are done, there is still one more. Question 7. Okay, can I let you guys try? When you're done writing 6 and no question, can you help me put a thumbs up? Okay, If you still don't understand question 6 while the rest do the next question, you can ask me, okay? Thank you. Today's one better than all the special principal value. Okay, Brian, okay? Albie? Albie, halo mah? Brian, okay? Okay. Albie, you need me to zoom into part A for you? I zoom in, okay? The rest, I give you until 10:45 to finish on, okay. Give you more time now, okay, by 10:50. Okay, now for question 7, you know that they ask you to find the exact value of sine x. I give you trigo, you need to find trigo, cannot find for x. So you must draw triangle. But before you can draw triangle, you must make something the subject. Okay, you must make one trigo function the subject. Now you got 2. You must change one away. Okay, make sine, cosine, or tangent the subject. Then you can draw triangle. Okay, if you're not sure what formula to use, you can look at page 1 and see which formula applies. Okay, I go get some water, I come back. If you got stuck doing question 7, you can message me, okay? I'll mute myself and help you on WhatsApp. Okay, Brian and Ollie can do. I'll be also. Okay, the rest I send you your mistake. You can take a look, okay? So okay, I give you a clue. Since you have secant square and tangent square, whenever you see a square and you want to change it, it will be the first 3 formulas in your formula sheet given here. Okay, so secant square is 1 plus tangent square. You just swap it. So secant square is 1 plus tangent square x. Cross multiply. Okay, you get 4 plus 4 tangent square x. 6 tangent square x plus 3. Make tangent square x the subject. So 2 tangent square x is equals to 1. Tangent square x equals to 1 over 2. If you get this right, can you still see here? Okay, so when you want to get tangent x, you need to square root. Okay, and whenever you square root, you must put plus minus. Okay, you cannot just straight away put a positive or a negative. In that case, you minus mark already. Okay, so then you must select. So you must say that in, okay, this is the third quadrant. In the third quad, tangent is positive. Therefore, tangent x is equals to square root 1 is still 1, square root 2, just leave it as square root 2, is this. Okay, you make tangent the subject, then you can continue doing. Okay, so you got 2 more minutes. Can you try and send it to me? Okay, those who are done, can you help me include this part? So I think you guys just reject the negative without stating a reason. You must state a reason, okay? Okay, so now that you got tangent, I help you complete this. And you know that it is in the third quadrant. So Just go ahead and draw it in the third quadrant. So X is here. Third quadrant, tangent is O over A. Don't care about the sign first. This will be square root 3. Okay. Negative y-axis, negative x-axis, negative, negative. Hypo is always positive. So you have sine x is equals to opposite over hypo, square root, don't leave it at the bottom, minus square root 3 over 3. Answer. When you're done copying, can you put a thumbs up? Thank you. Ryan and Albie, you guys okay? Albie? Asha, you okay? Yeah. Okay. Now, so just to recap what we do, okay? First type of question, principal value. As long as it's this kind, they say don't put calculator. And you know that this, you can get the value using calculator. That is your principal value. Okay, so whenever they ask you to find for X, you must do basic angle, find quadrant. Whenever they ask you to find for a trigo function, then you draw triangle. I give you trigo, you find another trigo, draw triangle. Okay, so we're done drawing triangle now. Let's move on to more solving question. Whenever you see solve, means I want the value of the unknown. In this case, theta. Okay, so when we see here, okay, after 9, I'll give you a short break. When we see here, every time when you want to solve for theta, you know that you must make a trigo function the subject. Then you can find basic angle, then you can find quadrant. So if there is two different trigo functions, okay, let's say if the angle is different as well, always try to make the angle the same using addition or double angle. And by doing so, you try to make the trigo the same. Okay, if the angle is already the same, then if you have one with square, one without square, you always change the one with a square. Using what? Using the first three formulas. So if you still remember, sine square plus cosine square equals to 1. So cosine square you can change to 1 minus sine square. Okay, then you form, usually you will form a quadratic equation. So okay, then remember to put mode 3. This value is less than minus 1. If you put sine inverse 2, you will get error in your calculator. So we reject. Next one. This is in degree mode. So now since we make sine the subject, we can go ahead, find basic angle, find quadrant. Sine is positive, first and second quadrant. So you can find theta, 30, 150. Okay, systematic. Number 1, make all the trigo functions the same. Make sine, cosine, or tangent the subject. Find basic angle, find quadrant, find angle. Okay, We will do more of this in the next few lessons. I will put in more addition formula, more double angle formula. So if any point of this, when I do this worksheet, you don't understand, please let me know, okay? Before we do the addition and double angle. So from here, okay? Now that we find for our theta, part B, if you were to compare with my first equation, they are almost the same. Okay, everything is the same except for the angle. Okay, this is theta. This is n theta. Okay, that means in this case, my theta becomes n theta. So the solution of n theta will be also 30 and 150. Okay, everything remains the same. So the solution also the same, just that n theta is equals to 30 and 150. So they say that when it's n theta, the smaller solution is 15. So solution means every time when they use solution, it means the value of the unknown. In this case, it is theta. Okay, so that means they say that theta, the smallest value is 15. This is the smallest value. So this is equals to 15. So 30 over n is equals to 15. N is equals to 2. Now that you found n equals to 2, you know that 2n is equal, 2 theta. Okay, we can copy this. Now n is 2. So 2 theta is 30, 150. They ask you to find for the largest value of theta. So to find for the largest value of theta, first we change the domain, everything times 2. So we can plus minus 360 to get everything in the domain. So plus 360 plus 360. If you plus 360 again, it will exceed 720. So we stop here. This is my largest value. Therefore, largest theta is just 510 divided by 2. All right, then can I give you a short break? Come back by 11:05. Okay, we continue with question 10. If you have any question, you can ask me during the break as well. Okay. Okay, everyone's back. You know what to do when you're back. Thank you. Only one person's back. Julia and Kenneth, you there? Good, good. Okay, Brian back. Kenneth? Okay, great. Now let's see here. So again, check your domain. Okay, this time round, it's 10 to 13. Anything lesser than 20 is definitely radian mode. So this is in radian mode. Okay, they want you to find for X in your head, basic angle, quadrant. So to do that, something must be the subject. This is cosecant. Cosecant, I make cosecant the subject first. Okay, the angle looks a bit weird, but there's no way you can change this. The only way you can simplify angle is by double angle or addition. In this case, there's no way we can simplify this. Just leave it. Okay. Then cosecant is 1 over sine, right? So 1 over sine. Flip this, flip this. So okay, I made sine the subject. So from now, I can find my basic angle and I can find my quadrant. So find basic angle, change it to radian mode. Okay, you will have 0.6435. Then sine is positive. So it's the first and second quadrant. Okay, then before we can continue, this is whatever the angle is here, you must put it here. So find the two quadrant value first. Second quadrant is pi minus answer, 2.498. Okay. And before we can continue finding for X, you must find everything in the domain. But this domain is for X. You must change the domain. So everything times 2 first. Okay, if you scared you do wrongly, everything times 2 first. Then everything plus 1. Then everything divide by 3. Then there you go. You have your correct domain. Okay, so you want everything between 7 to 9. This is definitely not 7 to 9. So you can plus minus 2 pi to get what you want. So this one definitely you must plus 2 pi. We plus 2 pi plus 2 pi, okay? So quadrant value plus 2 pi. Quadrant value plus 2 pi. Find this one first, 8.78. 6.93. This is the only one between 7 to 9. So you cannot add any more already. It will be too big because 2 pi is 6 point something. So, okay. The only value that you want to accept is this one. This is the only value between 7 to 9. The rest of the number, don't bother anymore. Okay, so don't just reject these two because it is out of the domain. Use your quadrant value to find all other values first, then you reject. So all this, reject. Okay, so this one times 3, you will get 26.34 minus 1, 25.34 divide by 2. Okay, 3 SF, radian mode. Everyone's okay? Okay. Now let's look at the next one, part B. Okay. Again, look for the domain. This one is in degree mode. Change back your calculator to degree. Then they ask you to solve. You know that, okay, basic angle, quadrant. But before we can do that, something must be the subject. So look at the equation. Okay. You have the one with a square, the one without a square. We always change the one with a square. Change this one. So we focus on this one. How to change the one with a square? First three formulas. So let's look at the first three formula. If you look at this three, okay, you know that secant square is 1 plus tangent square. Just nice. If you scroll back, okay, you have 1 plus tangent square. So this whole thing can be changed to secant square. So okay, the biggest mistake here is if you divide secant away. We cannot divide secant away. Okay, so factorize first. Okay, then we have secant y equals to 0 or 3 tangent y plus secant y is equals to 0. Secant is 1 over cosine y. And 1 over cosine y can't be equals to 0. This bottom here, even if cosine is equals to 0, is rejected, right? It's undefined. So secant y cannot be equals to 0. We reject this because secant y is always more than 0. Okay, then this is again tangent and secant. So slowly, tangent is sine y over cosine y. Secant is 1 over cosine y. Okay, can I check? Is everyone done with copying part A? If you're done copying part A, can you put a thumbs up? Thank you. All done, huh? Kenneth also done, huh? Asher? Asher, okay, huh? Because I need to erase this part already. Okay, so, okay, nice. Okay, so, okay, so looking at this part, I have 3 sine y plus 1 over cosine y equals to 0. Cosine bring over, if you have a fraction equals to 0, definitely the top is equals to 0. The bottom cannot be equals to 0. So sine y plus 1 equals to 0. Sine y is minus 1/3. Okay. Finally, we made something the subject. Basic angle, quadrant. So basic angle, don't put the negative inside. Huh? You have 19.47, but sign is negative. So third and fourth quadrant. Okay, last year O-level, the basic trigo came out. Super easy, but a lot of people forget how to do because it's too simple. So as much as you practice the harder questions, don't forget to practice the simple ones also, okay? So just have to know the basic technique. Every time when you want to solve, make something the subject, sine, cosine, tangent, find basic angle, find quadrant. Okay, when you're done, can I give you a small test? Okay, the next few questions are proving. Okay, use pencil to solve. Try, okay, start from either the left hand side or the right hand side. Always choose the more complicated one and try to prove. Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes for this. Let's see how many are. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 questions. Okay, 11, there's 2 parts. Okay, 10 minutes. Can you solve as many as possible? Okay, when you're done solving and proving, you take a picture and send me. Okay, everybody must try, even if it's blank, I want you to send me. Okay, by 11:25, we go through. Okay, by 11:25, I want to see your work. 11 and 12. Okay, I will keep it at question 10 in case some of you haven't finished copying. Okay, do 11 and 12, yeah? You guys need help? Javier can do 11A and B. Asher can?
No.
Brian, LV can? Okay, nice. Okay, Javier solve it. Okay, now let's see. So, just now here, okay, I better show you the front part first. Okay, you have the left side and the right side. The one with cosecant and the square is definitely the more complicated part. You start with left hand side. Okay, then you see cosecant square and cotangent. Remember, we try to make the trigo function the same. So we change the one with a square. We want to change cosecant square. So to change cosecant square, you know that cosecant square is 1 plus cotangent square. So cosecant square, you change to 1 plus cotangent square. Okay, there's another cosecant square here. So 1 plus cotangent square. You have here 1 minus cotangent square A. You have here cotangent square A plus 2 cotangent A. I just rearrange plus 1. Can you guys see that this is your A square minus B square? So we have A plus B, A minus B. The bottom here is your quadratic equation, okay? If you put 1, 2, 1 in your mode 3, 3, you will get cotangent A plus 1 whole thing squared. So there is a common bracket. Gone, gone. Okay? On the other side, we want to prove sine and cosine. So I change cotangent now to cosine A over sine A. If you remember, cotangent is cosine over sine. Cosine A over sine A plus 1. Okay, actually, I'm one step away. So if I got 1 over 2, I can times 2 times 2, right? I get 2 over 4. As long as I multiply the bottom, the same as how I multiply the top, multiply by the same number, whatever I do to the top, I do to the bottom, is legit. So I can do the same thing here. I want sine. So on top, I times sine A. At the bottom, I times sine A also. 1 times sine is just sine A. Cosine over sine times sine is cosine A plus sine A. Should. Okay. For part B is actually a lot easier. It's just a few steps. Okay, when you're ready, and then when you're done copying part A, can you put a thumbs up? Okay. Brian, okay? Ollie? Actually, okay, now. All right. Okay. Now let's look at part B. So every time, okay, now both of them look the same. Can't really tell which one is more complicated, right? So you choose the one that has more terms. 1, 2, 1. It's easier to make 2 terms to 1 term than 1 term to 2 terms. So, okay, for part B. So what we can do here is we change them to fractions. So tangent is sine square over cosine square. Sine square is just sine square b over 1. We make denominator the same. I times cosine square b, I times cosine square b. We have sine square b minus sine square b cosine square b over cosine square b. Okay, then we have on top, usually if you don't know what to do, you factorize 1 minus cosine square b over cosine square b. You know that tangent is sine over cosine. This becomes tangent already, right? Let me just draw again. This becomes tangent. Okay, then you need another sine square. 1 minus cosine square is sine square. So this whole thing is your sine square. The green part here is your tangent square, just change. So tangent square b, sine square b, shown. Okay, Javier, you're done with all this. You can try 13, 14 first, okay? The rest we left one more, yeah? Okay. So the last one, question 12, is one of the very popular question in prelim. Usually O-level not so difficult, but prelim question, this one is very popular. Okay, so we all know that if we do E-math algebra, right? If you want to simplify a fraction, I will ask you to form smaller bracket. Once you form smaller bracket, you can cancel similar bracket, right? So apply the same algebraic technique you learned in Sec 2 to proving. So if we want to simplify this, we must form as many brackets as possible. We know that at the bottom, this is my a square minus b square. I can do a plus b, a minus b. At the top right, we still can't factorize yet. Okay, so what we can do is, I know that 1 is my sine square plus cosine square. Okay, your 1 here is your sine square plus cosine square. Why I do that? Now, if you can see, this is my a square 2ab b square, my special quadratic. Okay, then at the bottom is a plus b, a minus b. Okay, you got your a square minus b square. At the top, you have your a square minus 2ab plus b square. It's your a minus b whole thing square. Okay, I just write down here. A square minus 2ab plus b square. If you factorize, you get a minus b whole thing square. So now you can cancel similar bracket. Gone, gone. Okay, I'm actually one step away. Then I want to form tangent. Okay, So just now I told you that, oh, sorry, you can go to here. Just now I told you that 1 over 2, you can times 2 times 2, you get 2 over 4. 2 over 4, you can divide by 2, you get back 1 over 2. So in this case, I want to form tangent. I know tangent is sine over cosine. If cosine divide by cosine, I will get 1. So both sides, I divide by cosine. So you will have tangent x minus 1 over tangent x plus 1. Sine divided by cosine is tangent. You divide by yourself is 1. Shown. Everybody okay? When you're done, can you help me put a thumbs up? Thank you. Good. Okay, I'll be okay, Asha. Okay, when you're done, we try one more proving, okay? This two proving, I choose this two because it's very hard to choose a proving question in prelim that don't include addition or double angle formula. So if they really test you, okay, proving, but don't require addition or double angle, then it will be this kind. You need to factorize and then try to cancel common bracket. So you must try to apply all your algebra techniques in this kind of question. Okay, so we try a few more. I found a few more questions. Okay, these are the more recent one. Can you guys help me try part A? Just 13 part A will do. I will do part B with you. Okay. If you finish 13A, you can try 14. Okay. So if you want to change to cotangent, definitely we start from the left side, right? All this looks too complicated already. You can change this to 1 over sine, 1 over cosine, sine over cosine. Okay, change it to sines and cosine. You change 3 functions into just 2 functions, sine and cosine. Okay, Javier, very well done for 13. You can try 14, okay? The proving only 3 steps. Okay, can I give you guys until 11:40? Next week is the last e-learning, then I'll see you back in the center, okay? So when I see you, you just bring back all of the worksheets that I mailed to you, okay? Addition, advanced, I think there's double angle advanced, and I think I didn't give you graph, yeah. Addition and double angle. And I think I'll finish this one by next week. Okay. Anyone almost done? All right. Okay. While you send me, let me go through. Okay. So if your method is different from mine, please send it to me so I can check. Okay. So first method, okay, I'll be well done for part. You can expand, or what you can do is you can combine them into one fraction. You combine them into one fraction. The only few people who send it to me, you guys expand, it's okay, can expand. Yeah. So this one we can combine into one fraction. You times sine theta times sine theta. So sine theta plus 1 over sine theta. This one, the denominator is already the same. You can combine over cosine theta. When you have fraction times fraction, top times top, bottom times bottom. So if you see top times top, a plus b, a minus b is your a square minus b square. Don't have to slowly expand. At the bottom is just sine theta, cosine theta. So 1 minus sine theta is cosine square theta. All you need to do is just cancel. You get cotangent theta. All right. So just 3 steps. Oh, sorry. Okay. So after you're done with part A, okay, they use the word hence means this part got to do with this part. So can you see that if the bottom I bring up, I can form something. So let me just write it down. Hey, wait, everybody copy finish part A already? If haven't, let me copy. Okay. So let's see part B first. I bring over secant 2x minus tangent 2x. 1 plus cosecant 2x is equals to square root 3. Can you see that this two bracket is the same as this? The only difference is the angle. This is theta, this is 2x. So you just have to change theta here to 2x. Remember, every time they say solve, you must make one trigo function the subject. There's too many trigo functions here. That's why they're helping you. They change back to just one trigo function. So it becomes cotangent, not theta, but 2x. Okay, equals to square root 3. You don't have cotangent in your calculator, so you change it to tangent. Cotangent is 1 over tangent, so you flip. This one you inverse, also you flip. 1 over square root 3. This square root 3 is given, so don't need to put plus minus, it's just positive. So again, we find for basic angle, this is in degree mode. Oops, this part here. Tangent inverse 1 over square root 3, you get 30. 2x will be, this is in the first and third quadrant. So let me write down first. First and third quad. So 2x, okay, don't forget, whatever angle, this is 2x, you copy 2x. First quadrant, third quadrant is 210. Not done yet. This is 2x, check your domain. Okay. Then, for 2x, it is 0 to 720. Okay, so 0 to 720, we must plus minus 360 to get everything. So plus 360, plus 360. Can plus 360. Okay, cannot plus 360 really. Okay, too big. So now that we finished finding 2x, we can find 4x. Done. Can I zoom out a bit? Okay. Can I give you 5 minutes to do part A? This is only 3 steps. Okay, great. Ali, solved it. Nice. Try part B, ah. All right. Faith almost got it. Kenneth? One more minute. LV, can or not? Okay. Let's do together. Okay. So this one, 3 steps. What you can do is, since on the right side you want everything to be tangent, and everything is almost tangent besides secant square, we will change secant square to tangent. So secant square is 1 plus tangent square. Okay, at the bottom, we have 1 minus tangent square. So to simplify, we need to factorize. If you can see, this is your quadratic equation. This is your a square minus b square. So on the top, it will be tangent x plus 1 whole thing square. At the bottom, 1 plus tangent x, 1 minus tangent x. Same bracket, cancel, you get your answer. Okay, last question already. Now this question for part B, very few people found out the error. Okay, so this one they purposely trick you. By one glance, you thought that these two are the same, but actually they are not. If you look closer, okay, the top is the same, but the bottom is different. Okay, this is 1 minus tangent square. This is tangent square minus 1. So if you want to make them the same, this one, you must factorize out the minus. Then you can flip. Okay, I say one more time. This one, you must take out the minus. Then you can flip this bracket. So this minus go over to this side. So becomes, this whole thing will be minus 1 plus tangent x over 1 minus tangent x. Okay, because these two are not exactly the same, we can factorize out the minus and bring over. So it's equals to tangent x. Okay, this minus I put inside here, then I can flip. So 1 plus tangent x over tangent x minus 1 is tangent x. Cross multiply, you will get tangent square x minus 2 tangent x minus 1 equals to 0. Okay, so if you put this in your mode 3, okay, this one, when you put mode 3, you will get weird decimal. So you must use your quadratic equation. Okay, this part I help you. So you do your quadratic equation, you will get tangent x equals to 1 plus square root 2. Tangent x is equals to 1 minus square root 2. Okay, you must do a quadratic formula. Minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So after we make tangent a subject, find basic angle. Then you will have 67.5. The other one, okay. The other one is a bit tricky. So what you can do is, because this is negative, okay, so you can't put negative value in your basic angle. You put this in your basic angle instead. So tangent inverse square root 2 minus 1. Okay, you get 22.5. So this is positive, first and third quadrant. This is negative. So this is second and fourth quadrant. So now you can find for x. First quadrant, third quadrant, second quadrant, fourth quadrant. Okay, this side be careful. Okay. Any question for this? Okay. The rest of the question, right, is actually homework. Okay. So can you guys go back and try? And if there's any question you don't know, you can take a picture and send me, but I want to see your work by next lesson. If not, you can come to the center and help me. Okay. So try to finish the remaining questions by next week and send it to me. And I will go through the more common mistakes in class. Okay. If you struggle doing the whole worksheet, then you can arrange and we do a consultation. Okay. So the remaining questions are actually simpler. As long as you know how to do the proving, at least do the proving. Okay. Just make something the subject, find basic angle, find quadrant, you can get the answer. If it's a proving part that you're not sure and there's too many of it, then you can let me know. Okay, if not, then I'll go through the rest in class. Is everyone done with question 14? When you're done, can you help me put a thumbs up? Okay, JV, you're done with 15, you can go already. All okay? Asher, okay? Brian can?
Yeah.
Okay, now the next few questions homework, right? Okay, be very careful when you solve. If you cannot do part 1, please still go on to do part 2. Okay, so this may happen in exam if you can't do part 1. So still try to do part 2 by using part 1 as a clue. Can you guys do that? Okay, just a few more questions. I will go through this, the remaining one in class. Next lesson also prepare your addition formula. Can? Okay, then I will see you guys next week.